We in focus? Good. All right, let's roll. Hey everyone, my name is VanderMeer and I build marketing tip videos right here on YouTube. Before I get started, hit that subscribe button if you're interested in marketing. I promise you won't regret it. Today I am going to talk about how to make social media content faster. This is a really important topic to me because in this digital world that's constantly changing, speed to market is everything. Audiences are changing, platforms are changing, the way platforms react to your content is changing. So building content quickly and getting it out to market is really important to make sure that the resources that you're putting into your brand are not going to waste. Pro tip number one, I'm starting with the pro tip today, I think it's really important, is build pillar content. What that's going to do is it's going to allow you to make more with less. For example, with myself, with my personal brand, I always do the hashtag Talk to JV show. It's a little podcast that we film every single time that a guest comes into the office. What it allows us to do is we get 50 to 60 minutes of really good content that the team can then go and chop into pieces to then get 10, 12 videos out of one piece of pillar content. You have to find ways to do this with your brand, whether you're selling a product or service. Build longer form pieces of content. Spend days out filming and putting together that content, and then you can chop it up into little modules, into pieces, and get more for less. Oh, number two. Number two is a tough one, and I bring it up in a lot of my videos. If you've heard it before, you might be sick of hearing it already, but you have to minimize revisions. And if you're an organization, minimize the red tape required to get the social content out. What I mean by this is simple. Whether you're building a video or editing a photo, the more revisions that go, the more resources get eaten up that take away from building more content. So, finding a way to have a quick approval process, allowing the creative minds the control to get that content built, and then trusting that it relates to your brand and relates to your brand guide is really important. Then get that content out. Create and correct after the content's put out, and if there's any issues with it, recognize that it's not the end of the world. You can make a different post next time, you can correct, you can find ways to get out to your audience, but you have to get that content out as fast as possible. Tip number 3, this was a really important one to me because it allowed us to build more content than ever before. And that means that you're building a history, you're building up a backlog of content. If you look at some of the biggest influencers out there, when we study them, we recognize that they build a huge history that they draw on for both inspiration and videos to help streamline their process. So as I've been able to build a history and get a bank of content behind, I can now go back to that content and build new videos, work new videos into old videos, build way more content than I could before. And it's a common misconception that you can't post the same content twice. You can. So keep your content. Don't be deleting stuff off your timelines. Archive your content, keep it on your hard drive. There's always an opportunity to go back later on and find that content of old and make it new. All right, tip number 4. This one goes against a lot of conventional theory. Conventional theory says plan everything, plan your videos. With building content, sometimes not planning is the plan. The reason I say that is one of the mistakes I made was I always used to script out my content, script out my episodes, and I found that it just didn't come out right. It wasn't authentic to me. So find what's authentic to you. Find that process. Try not to plan as much. Remember that the first take is always the best. Go out there and build as much content as you can. It's going to make a difference, and it's going to get you out with more touch points with your audience, which in the end is what we're all going for. And last but not least, tip number 5. I like to call this batching content. And it's about maximizing your time as well as finding ways to really get out there and build a lot of content that's unified the same. What I mean by this is if you're going out to shoot website content, for example, do the entire photo shoot in one day or in one shoot. The reason is the person doing that shoot, whether it's yourself with an iPhone or a professional, is going to use the same lenses, the same settings, and have the same feel, the same light of that shoot in every single shot. That unifies the content that you're building and allows your website to flow nicer. And that works with any platform. Batch your content. A lot of times, for even myself, I love to do 2 or 3 episodes together. The 3 episodes have roughly the same feel, At the same time, I get in the zone and I can execute those episodes really, really quickly. If you're doing a vlog, for example, doing it in 1 day, 2 days, doing it in conjunction with each other and not splitting it over a long period of time will help create that unification and consistency in your content. All right, guys, that's the end of this episode. I am going to close it out there. If you guys have any other tips, put it in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notifications. I promise you won't regret it. I'm trying to put out content and digital marketing tips every single day, and I want to get value back from you guys so that I can keep improving.